Okay, so kind of a follow-up video as requested. Here's my setup for turkey hunting. I've got it on a newer has been the brand right there. Got that off Amazon. Pretty solid monopod. It doesn't have like a stake system at the bottom, but it does have a leveling and a tilt feature. Then I've upgraded to the Very Zoom here. Kind of broke that button, as you can see on the left. And then you see I got the external mic. It's nothing expensive or too fancy, but it works wonderful. And then I've got the bigger battery on this camera. And as you can see on this thing, I've got it kind of camoed out. You know, like I said, this is kind of my turkey hunting setup. And that's what it looks like there. I've got the gun skins camo on it, which is very durable. Don't leave any sticky residue or anything like that. So, check this out. And we've got it in snow mode. Now I'm going to shoot a little bit of footage. Then I'll tell you what I like and what I don't like about this camera. Okay, so with this camera here, I've got it recording, and I'll put some video up in the corner of the screen somewhere whenever I get back to the desk. There's kind of the setup. Looks good. Now, and we'll look at the zoom feature and stuff, and I'm zooming in as we're speaking, and you know, just kind of running this hand control. So that's probably my favorite thing, which most of your video cameras have that. And then of course it's got the record, the quick on and off, the focus control, and then zooms here. But as far as the G70 itself, the clarity is awesome. It's lightweight, easy to use. I do like how you can change the focus and the zoom right here. And what that's going to do when you're not running a hand control is actually run this ring, whether you want it to be zoom or focus. So depending on what you're hunting, or if you're designated just filming rather than trying to self-film, that's a really helpful thing. And even though it's got an external mic, you can kind of see the smaller speakers right here. And so you can go back and actually go to media on this camera, and you can look at your video that you've already taken and kind of check out, see if it looks good or not. And then, you know, you got your playback, you got your display, your battery info. And really cool thing, like I said, a lot of these cameras have that, just not a lot of reviews on these. You know, you got card A and B, and you can select whether it gets done here and goes to here, or B gets photos, A gets videos, because this camera does both. So super cool. And let's see here, find some other stuff. So you got your plug in for your DC in and out. Super cool. Right here, zoom. Right here's the auto or manual. And now the only thing that I've seen in the auto is that it wants to kind of focus in, kind of like my phone's doing here. It'll focus in on what's close and then blur everything else out. That's typical of it trying to be autofocus. Okay. Then you got the menu here and the set buttons, start, stop for record, and you got the eye hole, which hardly anybody uses. But anyway, with the menu, you can set this thing on the fly pretty quick. Then right here, you'll see where the mic and the controller's plugged in. And then I do have this lid on it for weather. And this lid actually closes and opens. So that's kind of helpful whenever you got some weather like this and you're trying to film. And overall, anyway, what I can tell you about this camera is that works well. I mean, very good. Low light is awesome. But let me say this. In the low light, you can't move it real fast, or you're going to get a lot of blurry, hazy footage. And then your 60 feet per second, I've found that you need to run it in a little lower resolution setting for it to look right, if you know what I mean. Or it's too slow and kind of grainy on the way through. Overall, though, as far as setting this up, and then, you know, I'll put it on a tree arm and stuff in the tree, but overall, super impressed for the price of the camera and the options you got as far as all the settings. And then right here too, I failed to mention, this is all touchscreen. So on the fly, you can just click the mode you can do a function, you can click photo and just run with it as you're going. So especially if you do it yourself or self-filming, this is probably a great budget camera. And I'll post up a few videos that I shot too, show you some of the zooming, show you some of the focusing, and kind of let you decide what your eyes think as far as how good and how 4K this video is. But overall, for the price, the Canon G70 is a definitely recommended purchase if you're going to do some self-filming. So what I did forget to mention as far as what this camera does is you can put it on Bluetooth and send files without having to plug it up. That's super cool. Or you can Bluetooth it to your computer, so if you want to do some live streaming, there is a way to do that as well with this camera. So another cool little function. I just wanted to throw that in there.